on error duties. So the three A's are actionable, accessible, and auditable. So what does each of those mean? An actionable metrics framework is really, you should build a framework for experimentation, not vanity. What is vanity? Vanity would be, I have 3 million page views and 100 million uniques a month. Great, you know that, but what are you actually going to do with that data? How are you going to improve your site? How are you going to make product decisions? You really can't tell until you build a framework around experimentation, a framework built around split testing. So in our own metric system, we have an emphasis on split testing and gaining actionable insights. Metrics have to be accessible. I think this is one of the more overlooked traits, and it's probably one of the most important. So what we really want is make it as easy as possible to run experiments internally on our application. So we're mostly based on Facebook, and we built our infrastructure in such a way that you can take any Facebook app and drop it into our metric system, and you get all the virality metrics that you care about. So you get click-through rates on requests, you get how many requests are sent per day, and we just track it automatically for you. We want to make metrics tracking metrics as easy, if not easier, than not tracking it. Because if it's a little bit hard, people just won't do it. So we also have timely, transparent, and accessible reporting. What that means is we report data on an hourly basis, sometimes faster than that. And we make metrics available to an entire company. So we literally have a giant screen in the middle of our engineering room displaying our revenue numbers on a daily basis. And surprisingly, when we started doing that, revenue started going up. It's kind of weird. So yeah, it's really key to separate your metrics infrastructure away from your application code as much as possible. You really don't want to be redoing the work every time you do a new application, particularly if you're doing social games where you may have a portfolio of 30 or 40 different products. Okay, so auditable. This is an easy one. You should manually check whatever metrics you're getting from your metrics infrastructure against known good data sources, like GA or Facebook or your raw database stats. Okay, so why are companies in our space so metrics focused? It's actually really rational. It's not just because we're a weird, geeky kind of people, but it's actually rational because linear improvements in our space yield nonlinear results. What this means graphically is that, well, first, let me explain K. This is probably really basic for everyone in this space already, but so K generally is for every new user who comes into your app, how many users on average do they in turn refer? If your K is over 1, then you have exponential growth. If K is less than 1, it's actually still pretty good. But you measure that by multiplying your reflection rate. That is, for your average user coming in, how many users do they reach? How many of their friends do they invite? By the conversion rate for each of those invites. So if a user comes in and invites 20, if your average user comes in, invites 20 of their friends, and 5% of them convert, then you have a linear growing app because your K equals to 1. And you measure your K across each of those channels, sum it up, and that's your aggregate K. And here's what K can do for you. This is just a quick, this is obviously not real data at all, so there are a lot of K pictures. But if you start with 1 user, right? So this is a sum of how many users you can expect to reach after an infinite amount of time for different values of K. What's interesting if you look here, right? If you improve your K from 0.85 to 0.9, which is about a 7% increase in any one of the factors. If you increase your click-through rate by 7%, if you increase your request set by 7%, that is the actual difference you're going to get out of it. So that's what I mean with small linear changes have totally non-linear results. And the results are even more dramatic once you get past 1. So we spend a lot of time optimizing small changes in our app because it's the difference between a dying app and a 10% difference could be the difference between a dying app and an exponentially growing app. So this is my version of a viral loop. It's a pretty simplified version, but so the top circle represents somebody coming to your app, a visit, okay? And the key metric you want to measure here is your activation rate. Someone comes in, do they do anything you want to do, right? So you can define activation rates in whatever way you want. It could be reaching level 10 in the app. It could be buying a friend. And activation leads to revenue. So out of the people who do something, how many people actually purchase it? So the things you can do to affect activation rate, some of the things, include the quality of your product. Is it fun, people like it, people come in and have a good experience. The new user experience is really important. What does your tutorial look like? That directly determines how many of your users ultimately convert to actually active users.